The magical journey of Aster, from seed to bloom once upon a time. In a sunny meadow filled with buzzing bees, fluttering butterflies, and the gentle whispers of the wind, there lived a tiny seed named Aster. Aster was no ordinary seed, she was special, destined to grow into a beautiful flower that would bring joy to everyone who saw her. But her journey from seed to flower was going to be an adventure filled with wonder, challenges, and a little bit of magic. Chapter 1. The seed's dream. Aster lay snugly in her cozy seed coat tucked into the soft, dark soil. She could feel the warmth of the sun above her and the cool, damp earth all around. Though she was small, Aster had big dreams. She dreamed of one day stretching her petals toward the sky, dancing in the breeze, and making friends with the bees and butterflies. One day, as the spring rains began to fall, Aster felt a tiny tickle. A drop of water seeped into her seed coat, waking her up. "It's time," whispered the soil. Aster felt a surge of energy. She stretched and pushed, her tiny root breaking free from the seed coat and reaching down into the soil. At the same time, a little green shoot began to grow upward, searching for the sunlight. Chapter 2. The first leaves. As days passed, Aster's shoot grew taller and taller. She sprouted her first 2 leaves, which were small and round. These leaves were like solar panels, soaking up the sunlight to help her grow. Aster was so proud of herself. She could feel the sun as warmth on her leaves and the soil as nutrients feeding her roots. But growing wasn't always easy. One day, a hungry caterpillar nibbled on one of her leaves. Aster felt a little sad, but she didn't give up. "I'll grow more leaves," she said bravely. And she did. Soon she had even more leaves than before, and they were bigger and stronger. Chapter 3. Making friends. As Aster grew, she made many friends in the meadow. The earthworms wriggled through the soil, helping to aerate it so her roots could breathe. The ladybugs visited her leaves, eating the pesky aphids that tried to harm her. And the bees buzzed by, promising to visit her when she bloomed. One day, a wise old oak tree spoke to her. "Little Aster," it said, "do you know how special you are? When you bloom, you'll be a star of the meadow. Your flowers will bring joy to everyone who sees them." Aster was curious. "What will my flowers look like?" she asked. The oak tree smiled. "You'll see soon enough, but I can tell you this, your flowers will be like tiny sunbursts, with petals that look like rays of sunshine." Chapter 4. Budding beauty. Weeks passed, and Aster grew taller and stronger. One morning, she felt a strange sensation at the top of her stem. She looked up and saw a tiny green bud forming. "Is this my flower?" she wondered excitedly. The bud grew bigger and bigger, and soon it began to show hints of color. Aster's petals were going to be a beautiful shade of purple, but she didn't know that yet. She could feel the magic building inside her, ready to burst forth. Chapter 5. The Big Bloom. One sunny morning, Aster felt a gentle pop. Her bud had opened. She stretched her petals wide, revealing a stunning purple flower with a golden center. She was an aster, a star of the meadow. Just like the oak tree had said, her petals were delicate and thin, ranged in a perfect circle around her bright yellow center. Each petal was like a tiny ray of sunshine, and together they formed a star-like shape. Aster swayed in the breeze, feeling proud and happy. The bees and butterflies were thrilled. They flew to her, flowers sipping nectar and collecting pollen. "Thank you, Aster," they said. "Your nectar is delicious, and your pollen will help us make honey." Aster was overjoyed. She had always dreamed of helping others, and now she was doing just that. Chapter 6. The Circle of Life. As the days turned into weeks, Aster's flower began to fade. Her petals wilted, and her seeds started to form. She felt a little sad, but the oak tree reminded her, "This is not the end, Aster. Your seeds will carry on your legacy. They will grow into new flowers, just like you did." Aster smiled. She knew her seeds would one day grow into beautiful asters, bringing joy to the meadow just as she had. When her seeds were ready, the wind carried them away, scattering them across the meadow. Chapter 7. A New Beginning. The next spring, tiny green shoots began to pop up all over the meadow. Each one was a new aster, ready to grow and bloom. And high above, the wise old oak tree whispered, "Welcome, little ones. Your mother, Aster, would be so proud." And so, the cycle continued, season after season, as the meadow filled with the beauty and magic of aster flowers. Fun facts about asters. Star power. The name aster comes from the Greek word for star, because their flowers look like little stars. Fall bloomers. Asters are often called fall flowers because they bloom in late summer and autumn, adding color to gardens when other flowers are fading. Pollinator paradise, asters are a favorite of bees, butterflies, and other pollinators because they provide lots of nectar and pollen. Many colors, asters come in a variety of colors, including purple, pink, blue, and white. Long history, asters have been around for thousands of years and are often associated with love, patience, and elegance. And so, the story of aster reminds us that even the smallest seed can grow into something beautiful, and that every living thing has a special role to play in the circle of life. The end.